The story of the 10 plagues is one of the most riveting narratives in the Bible. Found in the book of Exodus, it tells of the dramatic confrontation between Moses and Pharaoh. The Israelites, held in bondage for centuries, cry out for deliverance. God hears their cries and commissions Moses to lead them to freedom. This conflict sets the stage for the 10 divine interventions known as the plagues. The plagues were not merely random disasters, but were seen as a direct challenge to the Egyptian pantheon of gods, showcasing the omnipotence of Yahweh. Each plague struck a blow to the Egyptian economy, health, and morale. The plagues served a dual purpose, demonstrating God's power to the Israelites and serving as divine judgment against Egypt's oppression. This story has been passed down through generations, becoming a cornerstone of Jewish identity and faith. The first plague turned the waters of the Nile into blood, a direct affront to Hapi, the Egyptian god of the Nile. Fish died, and the stench filled the land, causing panic and confusion. Next came the plague of frogs, swarming the land and disrupting daily life. The third plague brought lice or gnats, infesting people and animals, marking a turning point as the magicians admitted it was the finger of God. The fourth plague unleashed swarms of flies, tormenting the Egyptians but sparing the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived. The fifth plague targeted livestock, striking cattle, horses, donkeys, camels and sheep, devastating the economy. Each plague challenged the authority of specific Egyptian gods, demonstrating their impotence. The plagues disrupted daily life and worship, highlighting the limits of human and demonic power. This sequence of calamities was intended to compel Pharaoh to release the Israelites. The sixth plague brought painful boils upon Egyptians and their animals, mocking their medical deities. The seventh plague, hail mingled with fire, destroyed crops and livestock, challenging the sky goddess Nut and Osiris, the god of crops. Locusts followed in the eighth plague, consuming what little vegetation was left, leading to famine. The ninth plague brought darkness for 3 days, a direct affront to Ra, the sun god. The final plague was the most severe, the death of the firstborn, breaking Pharaoh's resistance. This plague was a direct attack on the future of Egypt, devastating every household. The Israelites were spared by marking their doorposts with lamb's blood, leading to the institution of Passover. Each plague demonstrated God's power and served as a form of divine judgment against Egypt's oppression. The plagues culminated in the Israelites' deliverance, a cornerstone of their faith and identity. The 10 plagues were a direct challenge to the pantheon of Egyptian gods, demonstrating their impotence. For the Israelites, the plagues reinforced their faith in Yahweh and Moses, preparing them for the journey ahead. The memory of the plagues and their deliverance became central to their identity. The plagues also had a profound impact on Egyptian society, leading to widespread fear and despair. Pharaoh's eventual concession to let the Israelites go was a reluctant surrender to a power he could not understand or control. Theologically, the plagues served as a demonstration of God's justice and mercy. They highlighted God's concern for the oppressed and his willingness to intervene in human history. Today, the story of the 10 plagues continues to resonate with believers around the world. For Jews, the plagues are an integral part of the Passover celebration, commemorating their ancestors' deliverance from slavery. For Christians, the plagues are seen as a precursor to the ultimate deliverance through Jesus Christ. The story emphasizes God's power to save and his willingness to confront evil on behalf of his people. The plagues also offer a reflection on the nature of suffering and divine justice. They remind believers that God is aware of their struggles and is actively involved in human history. The story challenges modern readers to consider the reality of divine judgment and the promise of redemption. The story of the 10 plagues is as relevant today as it was millennia ago. It is a powerful reminder of God's sovereignty, justice, and mercy. The plagues reveal the fragility of human power and the futility of resisting divine will. They challenge modern readers to reflect on their own lives and the state of the world. The narrative encourages believers to trust in God's deliverance and to recognize His presence in their struggles. It also calls for a commitment to justice, echoing the biblical concern for the oppressed and marginalized. The plagues remind us that God is not distant but actively involved in human history, working toward redemption. Thank you for watching Unveiling the Mysteries, the 10 Plagues of Exodus. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.